Hey, Riddle here, and I want to talk to you about why you should have compost worms and a worm composter. I started my adventure with worm composting when I had a very small plot of land behind a old garage in the city, and I wanted to grow some vegetables, and the soil quality was really crappy. And my spouse said, hey, why don't we get a worm composter? So we went on to Craigslist and we got the real basic one. It was a little beaten up, but we felt really sorry for this girl. She looked messed up. So we gave her the $30 and we got this thing. And this is the one that, you know, it'll make the worm tea that drops out the bottom. And compost worms are a lot different than regular worms. They're a lot smaller and they don't live deep in the soil. They live on the layer of leaves and junk that is collecting on the top of the soil, and this is where they do their work in digesting and then crapping to nutrient the soil. What's amazing is the things that these worms eat and how quickly they eat them and the amount of organic soil that they produce. And people, you know, they look at my garden and the majority of the soil in this garden is literally all the garbage from my house that has been turned into beautiful black organic soil by these simple creatures. This could end world hunger in many places, and it would also clean up their environment. It just kills me when I go to a third world country. I just got back from Peru and Bolivia, and just to see the people's lack of understanding of their natural resources and just throwing their garbage everywhere. And the thing is, we had 5 adults living in my house last month, and we would produce one small white garbage bag of actual waste every week. One small white garbage bag. 5 people. Between recycling and everything these worms eat, it's the future. You know, if you want to erase your carbon footprint, it begins by doing it actively. And you'll never look at trash the same way again. Suddenly, a paper towel roll becomes food. Eggshells, coffee grounds, pizza boxes. So let me show you some of this, the magic of this, because it is really crazy. So before I had this baby that I built from all repurposed lumber, I used to keep all my worms in just these 20-gallon totes from Home Depot, 18 20-gallon totes. And they thrived in there. But it gets a little warm here, so I was having trouble keeping them hydrated. But you can effectively on a patio or at your home get creative and have a worm farm in something as simple as a 20-gallon tote. This is my worm bin that my roommate helped me build. And here's the top. Here's the pizza box I had last night. Garden waste. I'm going to throw the paper towel roll in here. You just kind of want to break them down. And the cool thing is the worms like layers of wet and they like layers of dry. Some eggshells, so all this calcium will be digested, go into the soil, and then guess what? I have actual calcium in my soil. So you do a layer of cardboard, then you throw in your yard waste, vegetables. The only things you can't put in a worm composter is meat and fruit, because fruit ferments and turns to alcohol and the worms hate it. I'm going to open this up down here. And as you can see this beautiful black soil down here at the bottom? This smells beautiful and it looks beautiful. And it doesn't, that's the other thing, the worms put out an enzyme, and so it keeps the actual food and things from rotting, which is just beautiful. This is the plastic that I line this thing with. But so then about, you know, once a month you come down here and you scrape out all this beautiful soil and you throw it in your garden, in your pots, and it's just like getting free organic soil. Do you know how much soil costs right now in the stores? And enough to do like a decent garden. And here you are turning everyday waste, you know, stuff that you're throwing away and giving away, and you're turning it into food. You're basically turning it into gold. And you have control, you know, control of your mini environment. And in a time that we're being poisoned from every direction, from the air, from the water, from the containers that all our food is in, it's kind of nice to know that you could at least have one part of your life that is as organic or pure as possible. So if you have any questions, there's many sources online. A lot of people grow the worms on eBay. They're very competitive with their prices. You want to be careful what time of year you order them, depending what part of the country you're in, because you don't want them to freeze and you don't want them to heat, boil either. So this may be a really good time of year, last chance thing. And if you have any questions, Uncle Jim's Worm Farm is an awesome resource, and I'd be happy to share any of my compost experience with you. Take care and stay conscious.